Welcome back. Welcome back to another podcast. It is great to see you, and definitely because I know you wasn't here last time, so it's good to see you this time. We are going to be talking about season 7 delays, season 7 events. We're going to be talking about quite a bit in terms of what's to come, what's the plans, what might be happening. Because as you guys know, we're kept in the dark, right? We're kept in the dark. And even though my name is Poppin' Optimate Loft and I don't work with Gameloft. No, let me get that out there. But we do have a lot of stuff that we don't know. So I hope I can fill some voids in your brain or your heart, wherever you might be missing information. Not saying I have all the information, but it's just, I've been thinking about some stuff. That's all. Y'all know how this works. So the first thing that we're going to talk about today, actually, the very first thing we're going to talk about today is if you guys are a new YouTuber or a YouTuber that's already, making videos, or maybe you let your channel die, whatever. As I said before, I do have a new channel where I'm helping YouTubers grow. The first video you see right there is a review of a channel. And again, these are going to be free, 100% free. Just sign up for it. The sign up sheet will obviously be on that channel. And then I'm going to be making bite-sized guides for you guys to look at and improve your channel that way. So check that out if you are a YouTube creator, especially because I know a lot of you guys do have some great content. I've looked at your channels. So sometimes you just need a little push. So anyway, again, new YouTubers, old YouTubers, let your channel die, whatever. You never even started a channel. I got your back. Head over to that channel, join my Discord. We always are there to help you out. So that is the first thing I wanted to get out of the way. The second thing we're going to talk about is limited event news. So we have a few limited events that popped up. We had the Belle one, we had the Beast one, we had the Gaston one. And honestly, I think these events were pretty solid. Not normally do I think they're like super solid. Let me be honest. Some events I'm like, bro, y'all know nobody can complete these. Y'all know nobody wants these rewards. But these are some pretty thought out events. And so I'm actually super glad to see them. And I'm also glad to see Gaston make a return, because Gaston, bro, man, ain't been returning since he dropped. I think he returned once, and that was in a box, but I don't know if he returned in an event. So I'm actually glad to see that he's getting some love. I do think with a lot of characters, it might be a little bit more difficult to give everybody love. So, they are trying to revisit some of these characters. It might take a while, but it is nice to see that they are trying to come back. And especially in an event that really isn't that difficult. I don't remember if you need Gaston for this though, or I completed it, but I really don't remember because I have everything. So I don't really stress about what characters I don't have. Can you guys in the chat let me know? Did you need these characters, or could you complete some of them without actually owning the character itself? Let me know. I'll be reading the chat. But we also have Stitch, which also dropped. Now this one's kind of curious to me because I didn't really want Stitch. The reason why I say this is because we already went through a phase where Stitch was super strong and they had a lot of sales for Stitch. So most of the population probably already had this character, at least the people that still play this game and have been playing for a while. And they most likely don't need these little bit of Star Chaser shards in that Star Chaser box. I think we could have revisited a character. Well, this is his first Star Chaser, I believe. But we could have visited a character that we know we don't have a lot of shards on, whether it be 2 stars or 3 stars, and maybe give it to us that way. I feel like having a character that's already in the Racer Boost, I think most of them are in the Racer Boost, don't get me wrong, but if there is an epic one that's not in the Racer Boost, I think that could have been there. But that was just my thoughts. I thought Stitch was kind of like, we could have got someone else. We could have gotten someone else for sure. But some people maybe don't have Stitch. Maybe you guys need them. But I just feel like with the sales that we had in the previous seasons, and they really hyped up Stitch. They really wanted the people to buy him, and they bought him. It was just kind of like a redundant type of thing, because it's like, well, you already basically marketed this character and people already have them. This is kind of like a cop out. We could have had different characters. So I do notice that happens sometimes too, where they will drop characters again. They'll basically have events for characters that they know we have already, and it's basically just for people to finish up, but majority of the population does have them. And then you have like another population where it's like, we have them, but we're kind of finishing up. And then you have the people that don't have them. But those two groups I think are very small compared to the majority of people, especially because a lot of these events don't really give you that many shards anyway. So you don't have them yet? You don't have Stitch yet? That's crazy. So you're part of that. You're part of that population. You're part of that population. But do you buy? Do you spend? Because like I said, they had a sale. They didn't have an event for him. They had a sale. And I think a lot of people that play nowadays are usually just like the people that are buying now. Most people, I think, are buying in this game at this point. And so if you regularly spend money during the seasons, oh, you spend during the past, but not on the characters. Okay, so you're not part of that population. But the people that actually like buy characters, they already like had a huge event for this character. You need Gaston level 22 or 32. Okay, so you actually need these characters in general. Then you can't do the event without the character. That's a little rough. That's hard. I feel like if they do events like this, we should definitely have somebody get like 1 or 2 shards, even if they don't have the character. I don't feel like events should just straight up lock people out. You know, there's some events where it's like, oh, you can play any character and it's just a newcomer thing. And so that's what I assumed that was in here. Again, I don't remember because I literally have all the characters, but that's what I thought. So you're telling me that you don't have the character, you can't do these? I think that's gotta stop. Seriously, I think that's gotta stop. I think every person that plays the game, when an event drops for a character like this, just give them 1 or 2 shards, bro. Like that first one there with 2 shards, you can even split them up. Just make 1, even if you are like really stingy, just give 1 shard per these events. Because what if somebody just needs 1? And it's like, dude, I can't even do the event. And you just need that 1. You know, I don't know. But I feel like if you don't have a character for some of these characters, specific events, you can at least get something for it. The next event that we had, which was the unregulated Ursula. Now this one's interesting. Now this one is interesting because we've never, I'm trying to remember. Before Eve, we never had an unregulated event for character shards. I'm trying to remember. I think that's a lie though. I think we actually have, as long as they've been released, we had these events like this. But I really, really do not remember. I don't remember the side ones. I usually only remember the big ones. So this was kind of like a side one. But again, we're kind of in that same boat where it's like if you pay, you get more on this one. And the interesting thing about this one is that I know a lot of you guys were saying that you guys were unable to actually open up a lot of the Ursula boxes and get shards. A lot of you guys were like, dude, I opened 8 boxes. I opened 10 boxes. I opened 15 boxes, only got this. I'm going to be doing an Ursula box opening, and that video will be released, I believe, on Wednesday. So make sure you subscribe, that way you're notified. If you haven't, I will be releasing a box opening video on Wednesday with Ursula. If not, it's going to be a little bit later. But we're going to shoot for Wednesday, and usually when I shoot for a day, I get it out. So if I don't, something happened. But we're going to probably have that recorded and out on Wednesday. So if you want to see a box opening, I'm going to open it like 33 boxes or tokens, maybe a little bit more, but I didn't use any this season, so we're gonna see. If I don't get, bro, they don't give me Ursula in 33 boxes, I'm about to rage. I better get about 2, I better get 1 or 2 stars. 30 spins? Shoot. But anyway, like I was saying, a lot of you guys are talking about that, right? And so if they did fudge the numbers, I don't know. I haven't even rolled this season, but I'm reading your comments on Reddit, on Discord, in my comments. A lot of y'all was saying that these numbers ain't adding up, and it would make sense if they did do that. Now, I'm not saying that they are. Again, I don't know, but based off what I've been reading from you guys, it would make sense if that's what they did. Granted, I think that's illegal, so it should not be doing that, but I don't know anything, like I said. So we will see, but if that is the case and then the numbers are kind of fudged, that kind of sucks, because now you're basically having people sink more money into the Ursula boxes. And you know, some of the players at the top 10% really can't help themselves, and they will spend a lot to be like really number one. And that kind of sucks, because you're locking it behind the gacha mechanic, which means that they're going to spend more than just buying the character. And I believe people are saying she's harder to get than any other character in the roster. So that's rough. That kind of sucks. But like I said before, I just wish they were able to give people stuff, just a little something, something. With the Ursula event, obviously, if you have Ursula, which you should have Ursula, I believe, you're gonna get something by just completing it. But yeah, I don't know. I think as far as events go, though, I'm pretty. I wish for these 3 they made it so that way people can get it. It's kind of dumb, in my opinion, to make it so locked off like that. You should give people one shot or something. It's just a little something for playing the game and supporting the game by playing. And then the Stitch thing, I feel like could have been a different character. I know some of you guys might not have Stitch, or some of you guys might not have it start up. But we also know that they market towards a lot of the people that already been playing for a while, people that have been paying for a while. So I feel like they could have probably went another direction that would help veterans and like newer players as well, or people that don't have certain characters. And then as far as the Ursula event, unregulated, it is what it is. But we could definitely see that this is going to be a running thing. We know that every single event that has character shards are most likely going to have a regulated element to it. So this is something for us to get buckled in and strapped down for, because this is not going to go away. Especially because they've done it already. And again, people that are at the top usually want to pay to be at the top, which means that this is really good for them, which means Gameloft is not going to shut that down. But what do you guys think? What do you guys feel about these events here? Do you guys feel the same way? Or do you guys feel these events were hard? I want to say for the 3 events that we had, I don't think they were that difficult. I don't think the Belle events were difficult. Like, although I can't complete all of them with like Gaston as an example, it wasn't really killing me. A game like this, you already know you're not supposed to complete everything. And so that's why I don't complain about everything, because it's like realistically, you're not supposed to complete everything. You are supposed to have these stars. You are supposed to have these levels. And that's why you never really hear me complain about, oh, this event is too hard, or oh, this event just doesn't give enough, because I understand. What I do complain about is the people who don't have not being able to get anything. That's what I always complain about, because that's what I feel is unfair. Everybody should be able to get something even if you have nothing. Whereas this game is like, you get something if you have something, otherwise you don't get anything. So that's just kind of my thoughts. But as I said, what's y'all thoughts? How y'all chilling? How y'all doing? My Ursula is only level 15, so I won't be able to reach higher than top 50%. You can get more. I think there's 20 shards coming up in the tour. And then if you do like the ranked thing, no? I haven't ran the time trial yet, but got her a 3 stars, so it should be kind of okay, I think. I think that'll be enough. How did you do that? 3 stars? Oh my. Yeah, I didn't even roll boxes, just got all their shards from season 2 or ranked daily shop. Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, you should be able to get a few shards from ranked, get into platinum. And then, yeah. And then, yeah, ranked is atrocious right now. Ranked is rough. Bro, I'm not gonna go on no talk about ranked, because I already gave up on that mode a long time ago. I do want to talk more about game modes and stuff later though, because I wonder some things and I want to share some things. But ranked right now is horrible. Like, you can't play ranked unless you stacked. It's just not happening. It's a horrible experience. Bro, you get to Emerald, good luck. Let's move on. When you get to Emerald, good luck, bro. That rank is... Ooh, that rank got dirty. That rank got dirty. All right, so the next thing that we want to talk about today is definitely going to be the season delays. So we already know that we're going to have some season delays. The end of the season is going to be in 8 days, and on the 2nd would be a Saturday. Oh, I'm sorry, not a Saturday, a Tuesday. We usually get things released on Thursdays. So the fact that this will be ending on Tuesdays, we already know that it's going to be delayed, period, because they never switch days. And if they do, that's super random. So it's going to extend till Thursday. However, I think it's going to extend a lot longer than Thursday, and it's probably going to lead into the next week, because of the simple fact that a lot of the, well, this is just here AJ saying that there's always a chance every season can be extended. I want to comment on that, by the way. We never had an extended period, in my opinion, if I can remember correctly. We never had an extended period until Little Mermaid, and we already knew Little Mermaid was after the Frozen, and we already knew that. Well, we didn't get a lot of people in on Frozen. We're probably not gonna get a lot of people in on Little Mermaid, and I think that's gonna continue out. So them delaying it doesn't really do anything, because I always say they have such a special game that no matter what they do or how they treat players, they will continue to play anyway. So I don't think that this has happened before, but the fact that it's happening now is just kind of like, you just deal with it and just wait, you know? But the thing that I was talking about with it extending further is the fact that there are events that are going to end on the same day. So if we have an event that ends on Tuesday, this means that some of these materials that we're going to get, we're not going to be able to use, right? If the event ends on the day of the swap, why are we doing this? Are they going to convert it before they give it to us? Are they going to convert it on the day of? Again, we already know it's going to be shoved back based off this. That would make no sense, like at all. We can't use anything like the season coins. How do we use this if the day shuts off on Tuesday? So we know this is getting shoved back. If it's not getting shoved back, Ursula people that purchase, y'all got scammed. No, because y'all paid for Ursula to get high and y'all get the rewards, but then they just delete them all anyway. Y'all got scammed. So let's hope that's not the case. And we know that it delays it until Thursday. Now, the reason why I say it could go longer than Thursday is because they haven't shared anything with us yet. And usually when they share stuff, it's usually within that week or the next week following. It's usually within the next week following. If we think about it, we don't really know what the next season is going to be. We have speculations, like we always have speculations, right? But we have no clue what the next season is actually going to be. That being said, we have a couple of rumors. Bugs Life, I pray it's not Bugs Life, because my God, I don't want to race as Bugs. Y'all might be like, I love Bugs Life. I'm sorry. Why? If we have Nightmare Before Christmas, we already know that those models are in the game. I said before it was a publicity stunt, and the models are not from Disney Speedstorm, but you know. What do I know? Look, every time, I'll say this. When we get leaks, it's on purpose. You're not convincing me otherwise. Leaks, data mines, always on purpose, always when things mess up. You're not convincing me otherwise. That is how this game works. Because whenever something goes bad, we get a leak. And also, they said they have a whole bunch of stuff planned, yet no leaks and data mines show anything. So you're telling me that y'all worked on something for months and nobody found it. But we're getting other leaks like that, like Wreck-It Ralph, and they ain't fooling me. I always said Gameloft is not stupid. Gameloft is very smart, and they're not an incompetent company. If they don't want you to see something, you won't see something, period. So that's how I know. But they said their aim is to include the next 3 seasons after season 7 in the next roadmap. Hence, it's coming after the start of the season 7. So we already know that we're going to start seeing a roadmap for season 8, 9, and 10 coming up. I hope that's what that means. If he's saying we're going to see 7, 8, 9, that makes no sense because we're already in 7. So I'm going to assume it's 8, 9, and 10, which makes more sense, especially ending on 10. But we don't really know much about what's coming. But as I said, if we're talking about Nightmare Before Christmas, those are multiple characters, right? So this means that if we think about it logically, they could start releasing the character like towards the end of the week and then wrap around until next week and then release the season tour or the season on next Thursday. Because again, we're not next Thursday. I'm sorry. I'm trolling. Thursday after that Thursday. Because usually, like I said, they do it within a week in advance or they do it within the same week in general. And so if they have a lot of characters in that season, about 4 or 5, it makes more sense to spread it out that way. I don't think anything that people have been explaining about or have been like hinting at, like Wreck-It Ralph or Muppets or whatever, like I don't think that there's only 2 or 3 characters. I think they do have full rosters. So if they were to do that, it would make sense that they start on Tuesday, which will be in 8 days, and then they loop around if they wanted to do that. Could they extend it further? I definitely think so. As I said, Gameloft can do kind of whatever they want, and people will still play and people will still buy, and that's kind of the audience that they have. Luckily, their audience is very like loyal, but they're not loyal to their audience, which is what I find weird. It's like, y'all know y'all audience is like one of the better audiences, bro. They continue to play even when y'all mess up several times, but y'all still like don't care. But what I'm saying is that it is possible it can go longer. And I already said before, it's possible that we can drop the seasons thing. I mean, based off of this, I don't think we're going to drop the season thing. I think we are going to get more seasons. But I was saying that they could slow down all these updates if they really wanted to and just release the characters in a timely fashion, and people would still be okay with that. If we do continue to stall it out for more than 1 week, more than 2 weeks, I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked because we already are on that path. The Little Mermaid got stalled out. And sometimes when things do get stalled out, it is more than just them saying we don't want to drop it. There's definitely could be things like, oh, well, Nintendo wasn't ready and Microsoft wasn't ready. There were some complications with like that all that can happen. So I'm not saying that it can't. But again, I know that they are not really tripping about shoving off the date just because they do things like that. They like, once we do it once, we'll do it again and not really trip about it. So the other thing that was said here was that the mid-season reveal will not be until after the start of the season this time around. So they're not saying, well, regarding the roadmap, they're basically saying we'll reveal who the mid-season racers are during each season. Before, they would reveal the roadmap and then have the season racers with it. They made a very, very big mistake by doing this when the free-to-play dropped, because they said that they were gonna have, I think it was like, I want to say it was about 6. It could be 8, but I want to say it's 6. It was supposed to be 4 for one season, 2 for another season, and I think 2 for another season. So they obviously missed that mark, and they started to remove them from the season. And then they made a new roadmap showing that there'd be 1, and then 2 or something like that. And so I think they just don't want to find themselves in that trap again, where it's like, we already said these are going to come and then we have to redo it. Especially because they don't really have a need to hype their game up. The people that play are going to continue to play, and whether or not they hype, I think they already know that hype doesn't bring to their game. Hype will probably keep people, but it doesn't bring it. And so it would just be smart not to commit to something you're not sure of. That's what I'm saying. And so what this change would be is it's nothing really bad either. It's like, we technically really shouldn't know until the start of the season. So I don't think that's really that rough. I think that's normal. No matter what you play, usually you get hints to events as the season starts. It's not necessarily before the season. You might get a little some, but I think this is the way to go for sure. If we are going off of like what happened during the Little Mermaid season and stuff. Just as another example, we reveal that after the start of the season going forward in normal circumstances. Again, like, it is what it is. I don't think it's a bad thing. It is what it is. It definitely is what it is. So what are you guys thinking? Do you guys think it's going to extend from that Tuesday in 8 days, extending to that Thursday, and then we start there? Do you guys think it's going to go from that Tuesday to the next week? Do you think it's going to be longer? Like I said before, there's no way these guys are going to just say, hey, here's all these materials, here's these season box coins at the end of the Tuesday, and then say you can't claim them, but we removed them. It's like, y'all gave us less than 24 hours to collect these things. That's just not happening. If they do that, that's, like I said, that's very scammy. To have people pay to get on top of the Ursula leaderboard, give them rewards, remove them before they can use them, that's scammy. So I highly doubt that that's what's going to happen. And so I think it's going to be definitely extended, especially because he keeps saying it's going to be extended. It's not even like a question. He definitely just says, don't pay attention to the timer, it's going to be extended. And it was extended on Little Mermaid. So I think it's definitely going to be extended, but just to the extent of how far is it going to be extended? And do they have events? Do they have events to kind of to pad that extension time, you know? That's something that we can think about too. But yeah, anyway, what do you guys think? Ranked be chaotic and Eric taking over? Yeah, ranked is just rough. Do we even know what franchises it will be yet? No, we don't know, Trillian. Also, hey, how you doing, Trillian? I think other seasons have been extended too, even if just by a few days. I believe Frozen was. Was Frozen extended? I don't remember. But if you're saying it was extended, again, once they do it once, I'm telling you, all Gameloft has to do is do it one time And if people don't react horribly, they'll do it again and again and again and again. And that'll just become the new normal. That's literally how it has always been ever since day one, is they will test it. And if it's horrible, they just won't do it again. But if it's horrible enough and you still will do your thing, they'll just be like, all right, let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. And then it just becomes a new normal. Because if you think about it, that's just how humans work, right? Eventually we'll just get used to it. So you can't, it's like, yeah, poor decision. And then we just get used to the fact that they always make that poor decision. And then we just get used to it. And then it's just like, okay, what's the next poor decision? And then you just keep getting desensitized to it. And it's weird because that strategy is working. Like, it works, but like, Jesus, can we try something else? Seems like it's between Nightmare Before Christmas, Wreck-It Ralph, and Inside Out. Oh yeah, the Inside Out was another one. And they have a lot of characters too. And so that's why I think that this delay thing is not, I think it's going to start dropping like characters on that week of, and then wrap around for that 1 week. I don't know if it's going to shoot twice. They delay it for 2 weeks or more. Whoo! That's kind of rough, dude. That's rough. So that's going to be delayed since nobody knows what they're going to do yet, and we are less than 2 weeks away from the predicted time. That doesn't really mean it's going to be delayed, because I do remember they did something. And they didn't delay it even though they didn't tell us about it. But maybe it was an event. I don't think I'm pretty sure it wasn't a full entire season. But I do remember something like that where we didn't get a heads up and it just happened and we were like, oh, okay. But I do agree. I think that the fact that they didn't share anything and that's usually what they usually do, then I don't think it's gonna happen, and it's definitely gonna be delayed. But I think the proof is in the pudding right there for the materials. It just would not make sense. It would not make sense to give people rewards and then they can't use them. You know, what if I was out of town that 1 or 2 days, I can't use my rewards? Like, it would not make sense to that. I have no problem with the later reveals. I prefer no spoilers, so this is a good thing. Yeah, I don't mind the mid-season like moving thing. That's fine. Nobody has been talking about this, the increase in EXP needed for the Golden Pass level 50. Any info on that? Because it kind of sucks. Yeah, they basically said in Frozen they were overly generous. They were tampering with the numbers, and they did not tamper with the experience needed for the pass, and so they offset it. But then coming in season 6, they fixed everything, quote unquote, and made it so it should be normal again. What I feel like is they did as much as they can to hook people in season 5, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but to hook people in season 5 to get them to play, make them feel so overpowered, make them to feel great about themselves, and then try to keep that grasp on those people moving into 6 and go back to the normal way it was run in season 4 and before. But yeah, they already confirmed that that's what happened. We weren't supposed to get as much experience for a lot of the missions. And they were like, okay, we had to adjust it on season 6. So you're not the only one that's been experiencing that for sure. Probably and hopefully only 1 week. So April 11th, if that's April 4th, that would be great too. True. When will we know the theme this week? Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the thing is, it's very hard to predict what Gameloft will do because it's just very unpredictable. But again, we're gonna talk a little bit more about what they plan to do. So what we already talked about, kind of limited events. We talked about the new season coming, but another thing that they said that was going to happen was that there was going to be more things to come. There's a lot more changes to come. The first change that we had was the change to the materials, right? That's the first thing that we had. We had the change to materials. Whether or not people received it well, it is what it is. I already said my stance on it. I already made a video about it, but basically I didn't think that was a good change for everybody. It was just a good change for specific individuals, and I'm one of those, fortunately, obviously. I think I'm always going to be on the good receiving end because I started day 1. I gave them money already, so I'm kind of just grandfathered in. But I don't think it's that great for those that aren't. But we already know that they changed that. We have more. They said there's more to come. Now, I want to get him off the screen only because I don't want people to feel like I'm just talking about AG. But I do want to say a lot of the choices, a lot of the stuff that they do are usually for grandfathered players or cashers. Within that mindset, if we really want to think about what's coming next, we could use that mindset as a way to kind of speculate. One of the things that players really, really could not stand, whether you pay, whether you're grandfather, whether you're new, whatever, is the rank system. The rank system is horrible. I don't think that Gameloft will fix the rank system. So if you're hoping for that, good luck. I hope it. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna lie and say that I wish it wasn't fixed. I don't play ranked. I don't play ranked because I don't like the system. But the people who play ranked like the system, right? And that's important. If the person plays mode, they better like it, or at least they like it enough. I don't think everybody likes it, but it's whatever. But I do think they're gonna do something about these rewards, and this would be a great time to do that, because think about it. If they turn the rewards into, if they mainstream all these coins, right? If they mainstream all the materials and you turn them into coins, this makes it easier for them to reset every season and give us coins, because every character is using those same materials. Whereas, what if they had a plan to say that we're gonna have this genie event next season, right? But we reset everybody's rewards this season. So Genie's coming out next season. We have a great event for him, but we reset the rewards this season. If you're diligent enough and you play like all of them, you're gonna have a whole bunch of Genie materials, which means you're not gonna want to cash out next season, because now you got a stockpile of a whole bunch of materials. Because it's like, bro, you reset it. Now we got a whole bunch, right? This way, they can reset it and just give you coins. And then you can just keep grinding the coins. I don't think they're going to be generous enough to give you materials, but it is possible they can do something like a prestige system, where like if you can manage to get to a certain rank and you prestige, you can kind of get some more off of prestiging. Kind of like regulated, where you play and it caps, but you can keep getting points. Maybe they'll do something like that. But I do think they are going to touch those rewards, because again, we got to think about the people that are grandfathered in like myself. And we have to think about, the cashers, the people that pay, right? And when I say you're a casher, I know that kind of maybe seem like a negative term, but I don't really know how to say it without, like, people who spend money. I don't mean like, oh my gosh, you're a cashier, you're a horrible person. That's not, you're just a cashier. I don't mean it negatively. So whenever I say that, whether it's in my videos, comments, whatever, I'm not saying you're a bad person for cashing on the game. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that's the group that obviously, I don't like saying whales, but like whales is a worse word, okay? So just anybody who spends, whether it's a lot or a little, you're a cashier. Therefore, you put into that category there. But I do think, if we think about it that way, if we want people to continue to spend, to level up their racers, to grind up their racers, especially because we're streamlining it, making it a lot easier for people to be having that entry barrier to spending, becoming a cashier, we need to do something about this rank system to keep them playing ranked. Because a lot of the people that spend are not playing ranked anymore, or wonder why we don't get nothing for it. So how can we do that? Give rewards. So I do think they're touching the rank system. I don't think they're touching it for like balance changes and stuff like that, but I do think they are going to make something happen where you get rewards now, and it should be a lot easier considering all these materials are now like literally coins. So that's one of the things that I think they're going to touch on. The second thing that I think they're going to touch on, I think, might be something pertaining to the shop. Maybe instead of giving you a free like box, maybe you get a free box for that season or something like that, or maybe you get something like that. But I also think they're also going to start adding in login rewards. We talked about that before, and I think, again, I might be wrong about it. I definitely think they're going to touch rank system. I'm more positive about that. I mean, I could be wrong, don't get me wrong, but I just feel like that needs to be touched like ASAP, because nobody's going to continue to play. But the login bonus thing, I think that's something that would benefit people who spend and people who don't spend, right? And I do think that that's going to be something that they could implement in the future, especially because it allows people to keep returning to the game. You can say these events help you return to the game, but what happens if you have everything? If you are someone who spends, you have everything. If you are a grandfather, you have everything, which means we probably don't play a lot of these events unless it's for a specific character. The way that this would work is bringing you back in for that reason. Because if we can at least get you in the door, you most likely might continue to play something, you know? So I do think some of the changes are going to come, and I think the best way to speculate some of these things are definitely just going to be about the cashers in mind. You know, what do they want? What is going to make them spend? And that is just how they work. That's not saying that Gameloft is malicious or anything. That's just, literally, that's their business plan. It's about spending money to make money, right? And so any change that they do ever is always going to be to benefit the ones that are going to start spending. And with that mindset, we can kind of probably put together what's going to happen next, what's going to be the future season plans, what's going to be some updates that they're going to do based off of that spectrum of players. So who knows? But I do think that's something. He also talked about, and this is something interesting, he also talked about a way to counter people who start with crew. We know that people who start with crew are usually broken, right? Like fire ability, as an example, is like busted at the start. He was saying that we were going to try to add something to counter those. I don't really know what that means. This can go two ways. One, they just provide invincibility at the start, which would be, you know, that's a no-brainer. Two would be to make like a bonus crew member that makes you invincible. Because we gotta remember, everything done in this game is because someone's gonna spend. If we make a like all-round crew member, because they're making materials all straight line, so it's possible maybe there's an all-round crew member that you can get that will make you invulnerable. It's a way to counter everything, is by doing that. Maybe they'll adjust the crews to allow you to pick a certain ability. Who knows? But I think if we're gonna talk about counter, I don't think they're gonna do the simple route and just make you invincible, because they want you to feel strong when you play this game. It's possibly just going to be another crew member that's going to be for every single character, or maybe a class crew member or something like that, to allow that balance to take place, so that way you can opt into that crew member if you don't want to be hit at the start or something like that. But that's just speculation, like I said. But they did say they're working to counter it. But that's the only thing I can think about. Either you make people invincible or you make something purchasable to then counter that situation, which doesn't really help because it makes spenders a little bit more strong anyway. I think that was all the like actual stuff said by him, though, or by them. I don't think they talked about anything else being added or changed. Oh, I wanted to say there's some abilities in the game like Rush. I think Rush is very broke, and I don't know if they plan on balancing ranked in that regard, because some of these items are like freaking busted. Like Rush is just, if you get that 2-3 times in a row, it's a wrap. So I don't really know what they plan to do with that. I would like to see a new mode, though. Like if they can do something where it's like this mode is regulated, or this mode, whatever, or maybe have certain brackets. You know, let's just say ranked, there's a cap. So yeah, you're playing ranked, but if you're in bronze, bro, your cap is like, it's gonna be like maybe 15, right? Like that would make more sense, I think, than making a new mode. Because if you make a cap and give them a target to level to, because remember, these levels now are with shards, right? These levels now are not star based, they're shard based. So you can level up incrementally. So if we make a rank system where it caps you, you now see a goal to be fast in that rank, which means you might want to spend more to reach that goal, to win in that rank, right? Like think about it. How many of you guys level a character based off a goal the game tells you? When do you do it? You only level or start your character if you really like collecting and maxing out your stuff, or when there's an event telling you to do so. Imagine ranked cut you off until you level to a certain rank, or level to a certain level, or they let you participate like they do in events, but you're gonna get smoked because everybody sees that in silver you got to be level 20, and in emerald you got to be level 30. That's like the cap, right? You can play below that, but that's the cap. That way it's more balanced for everybody, but you gonna reach that level because you don't want to struggle. So I wonder if that's something that they're gonna do, because that would then again make people that are new want to spend, obviously. And then if you are someone who already spends, you got a goal to spend. And again, their main mission is to, how can I get you to spend? What can we change in our game to put you to spending? And that, I think, is definitely one of them, right? If you already know that you're going to need this level for this rank, maybe make a recommended level like they do in like the events, and just make it look like it. Who knows? That would get people to spend. I got to quit doing this, by the way, because I swear they don't have these intentions until I say them. And then all of a sudden, oh, I was watching Poppin's thing the other day. Yeah, no, what he said we should make a cap for ranked, or at least something like that. That way it can make everybody, because they're going to want to spin, right? Because they're going to get smoked. Yo. That's literally how it be. They be like, Poppin don't know, but he's helping us get money and we ain't even paying him. Poppin's so stupid. Am I though? Because you helping me too, Speedstorm. If you wasn't in service, I wouldn't be in service. So look, back scratch. Give me some promotional codes. I'll give it to my viewers. No, what am I talking about? But seriously though. Sometimes my stuff be so off the wall that when they do it, it's like, there's no way I was that pinpoint accurate. Y'all was listening. Y'all had that idea. Or I'm just lucky. Or I'm just very lucky at calling it. But yeah, that's the talk about that, the stuff that they're adding. You guys disagree, agree? I think they are going to be doing something. Like they said, they're going to be doing something, but I don't think it's going to be what I want. And what I want is a more balanced mode. What I want is a solid connection with players, maybe like a dedicated server, because I don't know if it's P2P. I don't know if it's player to player, but I do want more of a solid connection, because they're still syncing issues, even though that they said they fixed them. Like there's a lot of stuff that I want, but I know that there's a difference between what you want, because what you want might not make money, versus what they can do that will make money. And so there's a balancing act between what we want, or at least what I want, and what they can actually do. But more balanced mode with no ramming. Bro, take ramming out the game. I'm going to sign a petition. Everybody's like, Poppin, ramming is supposed to be in the game. It makes Disney Speedstorm. Don't take ramming. Y'all the rammers. No, for real. Y'all must be the active ones. Because if you disagree with ramming, you know you tired of being rammed. If you agree with ramming, you know you the one doing the ramming. Don't play me. Okay, anyway, let's get to these comments. How do you guys feel about what I just said? We'll move into the next segment of the podcast here. Cloudy Crow, what's up? Good to see you. Hello. I like the idea, but it won't happen, as they would lose money. Oh, what, for the dailies? Or for giving people stuff? I went way up, I think. I don't own the game, but your Foam Stars event video was a ton of fun to watch. Oh, thank you, Cloudy. Yeah, that was fun to record. I actually liked it a lot. Yeah, ranks makes them a lot of money, so it will stay that way. Welcome, Cloudy. Again, no for login rewards, as we already have them. Every 4 hours, we get one free something. Yeah, but like, that's not making people come back in, That's making dedicated players play. There's a lot of like cashers that don't play, but they'll cash if you give them a reason to. Wally is a prime example. You've seen a surge where people come back, they don't even play the game, but they came back to spin for him. That's something that they want. Even if you don't play for the whole season, if we can just get you to come back real quick, because if you already play every day or check in every day, you gonna give them money regardless, right? But I'm pretty sure they're also thinking about, well, how can we make it so that players that don't play every day, players that don't check in every day, how can we give them something to come in and check? Because if we can get them in, it's a possibility we can get them to pay, right? Sometimes people don't even know what events are happening because they don't log in and check. So I think that they might do something, or maybe get like a discount in the store for every single time that you log in every day. I definitely think there's something to that shop happening. I don't know what it's gonna be, truly. I don't know, but I feel like it's gonna be something to that shop. It's gotta be. Hope everyone's day is going good so far. It is going good, Cloudy. If they really want money, add time attack mode. Just one racer against the clock. Loads of people would push for the best on that as it's pure stats and stats plus skill. The thing about the skill thing when it comes to ranked and when it comes to leaderboards is like, if it's unregulated, man, there's no more skill. Like, I've raced a character without doing anything but holding gas. Like, this game is so pay to win right now that you can use RB and still win races. You should not be able to use a bot to win races. I don't care how stacked you get. I can turn this auto accelerate on or RB on and I can outrace you just because I'm stacked. Like that. We already knew it was pay to win, but when that happened, when I noticed you could do that, that's where the skill, I think, just went out the window. Not saying there's no skill in Disney Speedstorm, but a large part of it kind of goes away if you could just stat yourself up, you know? So that's always my take on it. Yeah, during the Beast event run, I received his special ability like 6 to 8 times in a row. Well, Beast has this little function where once he gets enraged, that's all you're gonna get. So that's why. Outrust, there is nowhere near as broken as Ariel with 4 relics. She's broken. All right, Chilion, you got me there. You got me there. Game like Spicer, listening to Pop. Dude, I'm saying. Trillion's a rammer. Yeah. You're not lying. I played against you, Trillion. Dude, I try not to ram people that I know. Well, I don't ram in general, but I really attempt to not ram. And as soon as I got next to you, rammed off the map instantly. Seriously, off the map instantly. I thought we was boys. I thought we was cool. Nope. As soon as Poppin gets next to you, bow. It's part of the game, though. I'm not holding nothing against you. All right, let's move to the next topic here. All right, so the next topic here is Chapter 9. So Chapter 9 dropped, and some of these was really, really difficult to complete. Like, really difficult to complete. I know that they do give you stuff, but I don't think they give you a lot. So like, as an example, this is requiring a level 35 aerial, right? Now, before, I think when it was in Frozen, it was a lot easier to get everything. They were handing you stuff. But now but now that you have the tokens separated, I feel like a lot of people are running out. When we first announced, or I didn't say nothing. When they first announced that they were gonna have separate boxes, I think a lot of people were like, "Oh my goodness gracious, this is awesome." And I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Whenever they say anything, everybody is like, "Oh my gosh, goodness gracious, this is awesome." Then you have the black sheep popping often over here, like, "Bro, this is not good. Bro, this is in the wrong direction, bro." And everybody's like, "Shut up, Poppin', it's great." I'm like, "It's not, y'all, bro. I'm not just making content for no reason. It does not sound as good as you guys think it sounds." And then they're like, "Yes, it does. Shut up, Poppin'." We get later into that season, everybody mad. It's like, I said that literally 3 weeks ago before they even, y'all need to just think about it. That's all I'm asking. But anyway, we're talking about it being separate boxes, which is good if obviously you spend. If you spend money, you have a lot of tokens that you could probably get going. If you have the pass, you have a lot of tokens you can get going, you know, whatever. You have a lot of ways to get tokens, don't get me wrong. But for those that tend to run out, or for those that focused on one, or for those that didn't look deep into the chapters, they don't have enough tokens to like ace up all these characters here. We have Ariel, we have Prince Eric, like these are high. You are not completing it. Now I will say, towards the end of the season, it always gets like this. It always gets extremely hard. However, this is the first season in my experience, but I haven't rolled anything. I have not rolled a dime. A coin. But so far, in my experience, I do have pass, by the way, too. So I have a lot more coins than anybody who doesn't have the pass. But in my experience, I have no characters this high. I haven't rolled yet, so that could obviously change. But this is the hardest, I think, season in chapter ever that I've experienced. Usually they would give you enough to go and get it. Now, I don't know if that's attributed to the boxes, because again, we would be given a lot. I don't know if that's attributed to the less rewards that we got. I don't know if it's attributed to the less rewards that we got for the season. I don't really pay too much attention to that. Like, you would assume if I played a tour, I'd pay more attention to what I'm unlocking. But I'm telling you right now, man, every time I do tour, it's just checklists for me. You need this character, boop, let's go. I don't know what reward it is, but whatever. And then at the end, I'm like, oh, I got all this stuff. I didn't even know where this came from. And it's like, it came from the tour pop, and it came from the tour. So I don't know if they reduced how many rewards you get. I do know that they reduced it in the past if you don't have pass. So these are some hard requirements, in my opinion. And so that is interesting to me, because I feel like that's a really huge turn. And that one was kind of, we slowly kind of went into this section before, you know. We would have nodes we can't complete, don't get me wrong, but they were always for characters that we had in the past. And I remember I talked about this last podcast, last podcast, where I said they do have to do a balancing act. You have people like me who are grandfathered in. Then you have people that cash. Then you have newer players, right? And so if you focus everything on what people that are newer, or the people that are just straight up new, if you focus everything on them, the rest of us, the grandfathers and the cashers, we can complete it without even having to blink. Bow, done. 35 Daisy, got that. 35 Mini, got that. I don't know, Figment, 30, got that. You know, we have those. That's not even a question. But this is the first season where they made it so that everyone in the boat has to like basically pay more or do more to do these. And again, I've never seen them this high for actual season characters. It was always for the special characters. You can always do it if you have them. If you don't have them, it is what it is. Everybody has these characters, but now you got to up them. And let me tell you, a lot of my stuff I'm playing is underleveled. So I very rarely level. But when it comes to this, these races I feel are intentionally difficult. Y'all already seen that video I had about the races being extra hard to complete. But these are some hard races. Like, these are some hard races. And to have a level this high, they're so hard. When I actually reach the level, they're so hard that even on that base level, it's still hard to complete. So heaven forbid you try a lot of these things without being the right level, especially under like 5. It's a wrap. But yeah, I think in my opinion, this is the first one where I've ever seen that they had real characters that are part of the season have to be leveled up to participate in any of this stuff at the end of the season tour. And look how much they lock behind that though. Like, Jesus, 20 shards for Ursula? Like, bro, yada. And then I think Prince Eric, this one had so many coins locked behind him. I was like, bro, y'all making this rough. This is rough. Okay, let me see what you guys are saying. I only ran with Beast because he deserves to let some of that anger out. Gameloft did him to me. That's funny. Wait, C9 level 40? What's C9? Rubbish Racer and level 40 Triton. Oh, chapter 9. I'm so slow. Chapter 9. Also, Rubbish Racer, my opinion, not investing in them too. This is the first season that had demand a level 40. That's what I was saying. Okay, Trillion, thank you. Because I literally was unsure because I did not spend my coins. I wasn't sure how easy it was to get the characters. Before they gave us a lot, and they also had a big box that had all the characters in there, and I just rolled. So it's like half of like, I swear I've never seen it before, but the other half is like, maybe these aren't that hard to reach. I just haven't rolled yet. But I swear we have never had that happen before. It was always just some random characters. So I'm glad, Trillia, thank you for clarifying that for me. I do appreciate that because I literally was thinking the exact, like I literally was saying it. So I'm glad that it was clarified because I heard that Ariel and Ursula is not worth, but Triton and Eric are better. So if you waste your tokens on one wrong box, oof. Yeah, I did. That's what I said, and that's why I said I was going to make a roll video for Ursula because that's what I was waiting for. But I did hear a lot of people say that some of the boxes were just a lot harder to get characters from. And so much so it might even be rigged. I don't think it's rigged. I don't have no proof. I don't know anything. So I'm just going based off words said by others. I'm not saying it's rigged. I do not know. I didn't do the math. I didn't roll anything. But a lot of people are saying that some boxes are harder. And I do know that there are higher drop rates for different boxes. Don't get me wrong. But in terms of like the amount of like the 10 shards or something like that, a lot of people were saying that those are impossible. But I think those odds are really low too. So it might be hard to get just because that's odds. No, I haven't rolled, so I don't know. Level 35 is okay, but asking for 4 stars is basically telling you need to pay. Yes. Yeah, okay. Yes. That's literally what I was because I was like, I haven't rolled yet. So how hard is it to get it? Do you guys get it quick? Like what? Okay. So, okay. Surely on you. Okay. That makes me feel like it makes sense. Season tour should cap level 35 to at least season 10, as it's just not fair for 95% of the players. Yes, and aren't these some of these like sides with characters like this? There's actually like important things behind them. I do know in other previous seasons they're asking for something like Minnie and Daisy, but they weren't giving you anything super important. Maybe like 2 mini shards or something like that. It was never something important. But when I look behind some of these ones that are locked by the season racers, bro, I swear they were all important. I swear if you missed out on them, you're kind of like, they definitely made it feel like you need to complete it. Does that make sense? Like it felt like it was like twisting my arm. It's like, oh, I really need that. Oh, but I don't have the levels for it. Oh, but I really need it. Like that's how it feels. Whereas previous season was like, who cares? I don't play that character. Who cares? I don't need that. I already got a lot of those. Who cares? Like they definitely are honing it in. And I honestly think it's gonna get way worse next season because they're streamlining all these upgrade materials, right? They're streamlining all these upgrade materials. They're making basically everything easier and it just easier to understand, easier to do. And that means that they can kind of fine tune where they want rewards and fine tune how they want you to spend, because this game is a funnel. They definitely have everybody kind of at the top, and they kind of like funnel you in a direction they want you to go to spend. And I think making things super simple in this game is gonna make it a lot easier for them to do that. And I think that will make next season a lot harder. And if they do have a lot of things planned, like if they have a lot of new things and crazy new things, it's probably going to be paywalled. It's probably going to be things that you wish you can do, but you can't. And I really hope that's not the case, because like I said, this was already rough. Like no, y'all crazy. I'm gonna leave it. But it's just, for the people that really like to complete all of this, like you said, Trillion, they basically are asking you to pay at this point. 100k season coins for one of them, very evil play. Yeah, exactly. Lots of 2-time shards, really any other ones on the drop. Exactly. But this one is like, they have a lot of good stuff behind it. All right, let's move on to the comments here that we have. If you want to have your comments read, just comment on the podcast and you have a potential to have them read and we talk about them here. So the first comment we have is from Shane Knights 421. Poppin', what do you think season 7 will be? And I have not seen them post on their Twitter yet, and it's like 13 days left. They never post on Twitter. Good luck with that one. A lot of the stuff that they post are in their Discords. I don't know why they like that. I know some developers are like that, but they do try to have another source. When it comes to Speedstorm, a lot of what they're posting, if it's going to be anything new, it's definitely going to come from their Discord. So you're probably going to get those updates from either a video someone makes or if they reveal the racer itself. But aside from that, they're probably not going to tell you unless it's in Discord. I don't really have a thought on what character or what season's coming. My initial thought was that they're going to stop doing seasons. That was my initial thought. But obviously, it was already confirmed that they're going to have seasons. But I was thinking they're going to slow down the updates for them and just make them go really, really slow. If I were to guess, I want to say The Nightmare Before Christmas, only because we already seen the models and we already seen that they were working on them. But it is possible that they wait till like season 10. But just based off what we've seen, if it wasn't a publicity stunt, it's probably going to be that one. I did also hear that there's going to be Inside and Out. And Inside and Out, what is it called? Inside and Out? I don't think it's called Inside and Out. Inside Out? Now I don't remember the name. But anyway, there's releasing a number 2 of that movie. And I don't know if Disney was ever a company that would release updates to match a release schedule of their movies. I don't think I've played Outside and In. Cloudy Crow. That's true. I don't think I've played many Disney games to know based off of that, because a lot of the Disney games that I play are just boxed. They're not ever going games, so I don't know if they tend to like sync up their stuff for more audience potential. But if that is what they're gonna do, then it's probably gonna be Inside Out. Those are my 2 things that I think we're gonna get, either that or Inside Out. There's been speculations of other things like Wreck-It Ralph and stuff like that, but I just don't think Wreck-It Ralph would be a smart choice. Only because I don't think a lot of people, more people that play this game know more about Nightmare Before Christmas than Wreck-It Ralph. We do have a lot of people that like watch a lot of Disney movies, but we also have to think about not everybody watches every single one. And if we have to think about, well, which movies are going to be the one to get people to pay the most, it's probably going to be Nightmare Before Christmas. And Inside and Out, if they want to reach to a different audience, it's probably going to be that one. And I don't think they would do Wreck-It Ralph right now. I think they would probably keep that carrot dangling and be like, we'll do Wreck-It Ralph soon, but it's not now, type of thing. And then it makes you kind of just want to stick around until Wreck-It Ralph comes out. Because you have to think too, sometimes they're going to be very smart about it. If they know you're going to dip out after your favorite season comes, they're going to try to milk that and wait. That's just what they do. And it's not a bad strategy, obviously. If they know you really want something, why would we drop it? You know it's going to come. You've seen the leaks that we've intentionally provided for you. You know it's coming. Why on earth would we drop it now? We should just wait and keep the carrot dangling. Maybe drop more leaks down the road for you guys. Like, I don't even know why they call it leaks, bro. They should just give it to us. If they're going to intentionally drop leaks, it's unconfirmed, but I just feel like I'm not. I feel like it's intentional. But if they're going to do that, you might as well just give us concept art and stuff. Like, come on. Come on, man. Don't call it a leak, just make it more hype. Just because, oh my God, it's something we're supposed to not know. Let me see. Just freaking give us that concept art, bro. We're going to be happy either way. But I don't, because of that, I don't think it's going to be Wreck-It Ralph. I would definitely be happy if it was Wreck-It Ralph, especially because I like having him in the Sonic racing games. But like actual like monetization choice, I'm just going to say that they'd make a lot more doing other stuff and keeping the what everybody wants or what a lot of the people might talk about in their Discord, kind of just like shove that back a little bit more. So my guesses are Inside and Out, Inside Out, Outside In. My guesses are that or Nightmare Before Christmas. If anything else comes, I'll be happy, obviously. But those are my 2 guesses for it. Maybe Wreck-It Ralph might not be a full season. Instead, it's going to be a limited time racer or limited event racer. Probably that. I don't think it's going to get a full season though. But who knows? Who knows? It's just speculation. We don't know anything. We've never seen anything. So who knows? But thank you for that comment, Shane. I much appreciate it. Big Business 3000. Bro, that's the name of the game for Gameloft. You work with them? Gameloft is punishing us for complaining instead of increasing the player base. That's always an interesting one. So, how are we going to approach this one? A while back, when I first started doing podcasts, I spoke on the fact that a lot of the decisions made for Disney Speedstorm, this is even before a podcast, a lot of the decisions made for Disney Speedstorm went more into the cash-heavy direction. One of the main reasons for that is because they're losing players. So in order to really make sure that revenue is consistent, you're going to have to try to compensate for the people that left by making it even harder to do things and making it appeal to people to spend. If people play your game, and there's a ton of people playing your game, why on earth would you have made such decisions to like get people to spend more? You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't say it's punishing, but it obviously is. It obviously appears that way, right? like if we have these poor decisions that make us get less players, which means we have to basically pay for everything, but that's the poor decision that led us to lose players in the first place. It's like a cycle of like poor decision, lose players, we suffer. Poor decision, lose players, we suffer. Poor decision, lose players, we suffer. And just rinse and repeat. The only reason this works is because I believe almost every season there's always a new casher to replace the old casher. And if these are the numbers that they're seeing, it's a lot easier to just continue to go down that route, because it's like, we notice we're losing players, but we also notice that the ones coming and like filling the shoes of the other ones are usually the ones that pay. So it's kind of like we lose, but we gain. We lose, but we gain. So we can kind of continue to go in this direction, and it might seem worse, but it's technically not, because they're spending anyway. And it might feel punishing to us, people that, you know, don't spend, or people that aren't grandfathered in. Even people that do spend, like a lot of people that spend, or at least the ones I've spoken to, I'm not even gonna say a lot. The people I've spoken to, although they spend, they don't necessarily agree with the direction the game goes, right? And so we really want to kind of separate the two, because I feel like some people who spend are like negatively targeted, because it's like, oh my gosh, you spend, you should be ashamed of yourself for spending. You see what direction this game is going, and you're literally supporting that. And there are some that do that, obviously, but the ones that I've spoken to, they understand the game's going in the wrong direction, but also they understand that they've gotten so far, they need to keep spending. And that's how this game works. If you really dive into spending, you are going to have to spend more. And if you enjoy the game, why not? That doesn't mean you agree with what they're doing. It's just, bro, I'm in too deep already, and I actually like playing the game. For shame me for spending on what I enjoy. You know what I'm saying? And so we definitely need to separate that, because the spenders do understand what's happening. But there's also, it's also kind of like you have another group where it's kind of like we also get what we want. So we're not really, there's no reason to complain. We like the game, we spend on the game, we get what we want. What's the problem? Right? And that's kind of hard to balance, especially if we're looking at it from Gameloft's perspective. It's people that are cashing don't care what we do, because they're going to continue to cash because they like the game. Why would we change anything for the others when they don't bring income? What's the point? And if you think about it strategically, it actually makes sense. Why would we put money towards places that don't give us money when we can focus on the place that gives us money? And it sounds very shady. It sounds very scummy, but like, that's just how businesses are ran, unfortunately. Unfortunately, it works like that. What are you gonna do? I do think though that I wish they took baby steps to make it better for everybody. And they said they have a lot coming soon, so it's possible they already are doing that. But even if, let's just say season 4, oh, a lot of free-to-play players, you know, our game, we lost thousands, and, you know, they did lose, we lost a lot of players between that and now. But if they were like, we'll take baby steps to like maybe make something better for you, because we know you don't pay, but you enjoy, and instead they went the other direction. We know you don't pay, let's get you out the game. We know you don't pay, let's get you out the game. We know you don't pay, let's get you out the game. And now we're just left with a whole bunch of people that pay. Or the people that don't care about suffering because they like the game. You do have people like that where they're like, well, I don't pay any money and it does suck, but as long as you're okay with it sucking, you're okay. But that's the audience. That's what I said. That's why I said they are so lucky they have a community that is loyal, because this is such a loyal community that no matter what they do, what they change, negative or positive, they will play the game. You would think that a company with such a loyal player base would do them better, no? So also, it might feel like we're being punished. Even spenders, like I said, it's not just cashers are just oblivious and, oh, we spend money even though we don't notice the problems. The game's great. That's not how it works. They definitely notice the same exact thing we notice. It just doesn't affect them that much, so it's not really worth speaking on as much as we speak on it. But I can see where you're coming from. Is it truly punishing us? I'll say it's indirectly punishing us. I don't want to say Gameloft is intentionally just being mean. But how they want to run the game implies that they're being mean, and they're not. They just want more money. But more money sometimes doesn't mean the best decisions are being made. You know what I mean? So I don't really know. I feel that as far as cash shops go, this game is not that bad. Since local free play gives you access to everything for nothing, you can use everything in the game free locally at home. Trillion, that's not true. They removed that this season. If you don't have the character, you're not able to play. If you don't have the character, you're not able to play private or local. That's gone. You only can play what you own, which means people have to buy or play the game religiously to get what they want. You also only get 2 characters at the start, Donald and Mickey, and then you could choose one more. And it's one more out of the 5. They also moved the season pass rewards back. So if you don't buy a pass, you're not getting a new character for a hot minute. You obviously can't complete anything. But that's what I mean, Trillion. It's like, I know you're someone who spends, but that's what I mean. When you spend, you don't see any of these issues, right? And that's not a personal attack on you at all or anybody that's spending. But it's obvious that if you don't deal with it yourself, you don't notice it. But this is why I make content how I make it, because I inform people. Like, that sucks. It sucks that they do this. I don't have an issue with any of this. I have every character unlocked. My stats are high enough. If I wanted to climb, I can. If I want to do events, I can. That's not an issue. But when I see how they treat others, that's a problem, because I don't want to step on others to make me feel better, So I definitely, it needs to be spoken about. It needs to be spoken about. I had access to Eve at the start of the season in free to play. Wait, should you be sharing that? Working in the gaming industry, I do know that people who spend actually do get special treatment. So if you reach a cap, your account could get special treatment. Mobile games do this. So I don't know if you should have said that. I don't know if you should have said that, but that sucks. That sucks. Because let me tell you, I didn't have it unlocked, and a new account that I played on didn't have it unlocked. But I don't spend on my main account, and the new account obviously don't have anything. So that's interesting. That's very interesting. But yeah, I had screenshots and stuff, and I posted it. And when you play local or private, unless you have the character, you can't play them. Big Business, thank you for your comment. Let's move on to the next one. I started 2 weeks ago, and I probably spent 60 pounds already, and I don't feel good about it. Yeah, that's the rough part about this game. Once you spend once, you got to continue to spend. But that's just all mobile games. It's not really a Disney. It's not really a Disney Speedstorm thing. That's just kind of how it works. So if you're going to pay on any mobile game, you're going to need to spend repeatedly. The thing about Disney Speedstorm is they don't frame it as a mobile game. And by the time you figure it out, you're screwed. And you either quit or you need to continue to pay. Unfortunately, that's how it is. Because you only really know a mobile game if it's on mobile, right? You don't go on a console and be like, oh, that's a mobile game. You just know, because that's not how it works. You only know if it's on mobile, if you see it on mobile. So, but this game originally launched on console. And so people weren't really aware of that. And then obviously as seasons go, they started to lean into how mobile games are run. And that's why when you spend, it doesn't really affect much, because you're gonna have to do it again and again and again and again and again and again and again. And that's how they get you. Right? When you first get into Speedstorm, you're not noticing the fact that you need to stat up characters. You're like, oh, I just need to pay this to unlock the character? Great. And then you get your 1 star and it's like, where's my ability? Oh, I need to get 2 stars. Okay, that's fine. And you get your 2 stars, right? Because you pay for that box to get you up higher. Then you realize a lot of these events require they require 3 or 4 or 5-star characters that you don't have, or they require certain levels that you don't have, and that's where you're gonna have to learn. You need to spend more, right? That's just how it works, unfortunately. Caroline, thank you for sharing. Much appreciated. Don't feel bad about it though, especially if you're enjoying the game. Continue to spend, continue to do your thing, but just know it is gonna probably burn a hole in your pocket if you don't got it. I have seen people's lives ruined because they can't afford games like this. And don't let that be you. If you can't afford it, obviously, not just you, but anybody. If you can't afford this game, don't get sucked into it. Just play for free. It's all right. Because like I said, I've seen people have their lives ruined because games like this want you to continuously pay. And it's not even on the developer. I mean, you could say it is by making it so addicting, but realistically, it's not on them. They just make the product, and what you do with it is your business, basically. That's how they think about it. So it's okay to be free to play in this game. All right. But yeah, thank you for the comment. And then the next comment here is Dead Wave. Simply put, I have no faith in Gameloft that anything will get better. The thing is, they said that they're going to do a lot of stuff, but I do know it's probably going to be focused more around, that's what it's going to be focused around, like, people who spend. But we don't know. All right, we don't know. There might be something for like really big spenders and then something for like mediocre spenders or people who just play for a while. If they can separate the two, that's cool. But we also do know that people who spend like to have it kind of shown off that they spend. Not maliciously, but if you got a high star racer, if you got a high level racer, bro, you're trying to flaunt that. So it's kind of hard to say that they're going to separate us because that's kind of the point. And then if you notice someone has that, you might want it and you might start spending. I don't remember. There's a word for it. Games do that, whether it's this one or another one. There's a word for it where it's like, if you see someone else with something so great, you want it too. And so you'll probably buy, but I forgot the name for it. But there's actually like psychology behind that. So I don't think they'll separate the two. So we'll have to see. But it definitely will be interesting to see what they got planned. And if it goes anywhere the same or worse this season, and we've been seeing it get worse. If it goes worse, like I said, last season was the season to see if this game was going to be next level. But the fact that they're saying there's a whole bunch of events and there's a whole bunch of stuff dropping and all that, if this season is worse and they said they have a lot planned, it's just probably not going to get better from there. It's one thing to say this is the season and then they not say anything and they not change anything. It's like, whatever. But for them to vocally say or vocally announce like, oh, we got some stuff planned, this is going to be great, and then it's worse, that's how you know the game's done. Or that's how you know the game's going to go down or lose this player base, because you announce that it's going to get better, but it's not. So what are you going to do then? We know that this is the final marking, so we get to see what they're going to do. I am curious, but I don't want to count them out yet, because when they say it, I don't want to count them out. I'll see what they do. I don't have a lot of hope and faith in it because I've been let down so many times. I've been making content for this game for like 9 months, almost a year, if it hasn't already been a year. And I've been let down every single season. But things can change. That's always something you gotta think about. I can't say that I expect it to, but I also can't say that I always give the benefit of the doubt. If you say something, I want to see it and then say something. I'm not the type to be like, Gameloft said they're gonna do something new. Oh, it's gonna suck. They can probably do this. They can probably do that. They can probably do that. That's not really who I am. I speak on what I see. If I see it and it's better, it's better. If I see it and it's worse, it's worse. That's just kind of how it is. So that's what I kind of go off of. Wow, I didn't know it was because I had paid in the past. That's the only thing I can think about, man. I don't know, but I do know mobile games do that. They give you special treatment for paying more. Why wouldn't they? You know what I mean? That is really sketch, though. That is really sketch if they do that. Man, imagine. Dude, that's sketch. It's not really, but it is. Like, I'm not gonna say it's illegal type sketch. Like, oh my God, they're horrible people. But I'm saying this sketch like that's kind of messed up. I understand giving people special treatment, but like removing everything from free players and then giving them special treatment on top of that, that's whack. That's whack, bro. That's super whack. Hopefully it's not because you paid, but yeah, if you are bored or just want to see what it's like for a new player starting today, it's bad. You get 3 characters and can only play those in the free local. Since we have everything unlocked, it's hard to find these things out. Excuse me, out, and they don't announce it. I'll keep an eye out on the next season to see what I have in free play. Yeah, that's one thing about what I do is I try to, because you guys know me. A lot of what I talk about, I research, man. I don't just talk for nothing. I literally look into a lot of what I say, and if I don't research it, I'll let you guys know instantly. I'll say, like, I have no clue, but this is what's being said. I have no clue, but this is what I think. And I'll tell you guys that. But if I ever say anything definitively, I research it. Period. I'm not gonna make content on stuff I don't research or stuff I don't believe in. Even if I'm wrong, I still have enough proof to say that I thought I was right, you know? I'm not just gonna make stuff just to make stuff. When I seen that, I had to make, that's why I make new accounts. I make new accounts because I want to see what it's like. I want, before I speak on any topic, oh, the shard increase or the shard decrease. Well, I want to see what it's like. Oh, the EXP increase at the end of the season. I want to see what it's like. I need some proof. Oh, the ramming in the game, I feel it's bad. I want to see what it's like. Like anything that I ever make content on, and that's what I really do pride myself in as a person and as a creator. Anything I make content on, bro, I'm researching, I'm giving you the facts, even when I said the player count decreased, you look at Steam numbers, you see them. But also on PlayStation and Xbox, you can see the achievements. That gives you percents of how many people continue to play and how many people don't. I'm going through these achievements, I'm looking at these numbers, I'm seeing all of that. Does that mean I know the precise number of players that are not playing? No, but that's enough information to talk about what I want to talk about. So if any guys ever see me make content and stuff like that, no, I'm researching. No, I'm understanding. Know that I'm not just talking to talk, making videos for clicks. I would like to, though. No, I'm not gonna lie. Just to, you gotta think about it, though. If I get some clicks, YouTube makes me grow, which means I get more money that way. I'm turning into Gameloft. Is it worth? Everybody will hate me for incorrect, upset content, but I'm getting paid. And you're gonna watch it because you wanna know. I'm turning. I am turning. We're gonna leave it up on that. Gameloft, I see what you do. Hold up, let me mentor me. What I gotta do? What I gotta do? I'm so toxic. I'm such a toxic individual. I'll read this last comment and then we'll conclude the podcast. I've always used free play to get better with racers for the unlock events. Every season I have done that. Oh, okay, yeah. We weren't getting free characters since like Wally, man. Like, we weren't getting free characters for a hot one. So if you've been doing that, you were already your account is just one of those accounts that gets to do it. But that's one thing. That's one thing that I noticed, though. That is one thing that I noticed, though. When things happen like that, Trillion, no one ever speaks on it. The only ones that ever speak on it are the ones who actually like watch my stuff or like have been watching me for a while. They'd be like, well, hey, just like you, basically. You didn't have a reason to bring it up. You didn't have a reason to talk about it. But because I'd speak about it, you bring it up. And you're like, actually, are you sure? That's literally what happens. Even in my Discord with Meaner, is it Meaner or Minair? Meaner? Minor? I'm sorry, I can't pronounce names. But even with them, if I speak on something, they'll disagree, but they'll tell me more information. And I'm just like, really? That's what happens? Or that's what you get? Like, literally, they make changes to a lot of what they make a lot of changes, and unless you really speak to those individuals, you won't know. And I don't know if that's intentional. Well, I'm going to assume the bad news is covered up, is always intentional. You don't want to just tell people bad news. But I do notice that unless I speak with them like individually, there's a lot of information that people just won't know. And so that's one thing I definitely noticed. And that's one thing I definitely don't like about Disney Speedstorm. If you're gonna make changes, bro, we need to all be aware of these changes. Because if you're a spender and you're like, I don't see any issue, but then the people that don't spend are like, there's an issue, then there's a disconnect. Because then now nobody speaks on it. I don't know, bro. I don't know. That's the problem. You can't really say it's secrecy. You can't really say they're doing it intentionally. They could just not think it's necessary to say it. You know what I mean? Does that make them a bad company? Does that make them a bad developer? If you make changes to a game, is it really necessary to tell the players that are playing it? I actually want that question answered before I end this podcast. And if you're watching the premiere, please comment, chat box, whatever. I really want to know that answer. Do you guys feel like if a developer makes changes that impacts the players, I'm not talking about changes to colorings and shaders and stuff like, if they make changes that literally impact the player base, do you feel like it is an obligation from that developer to tell everybody of that change? Or do you feel like if it only affects certain individuals, it doesn't matter? 100% yes. Because when it came to the upgrade system changes, that was announced, written in notes. Character patches, written in notes. But the removal of characters from local and private play, should that have been announced? The fact that Trillion, which is someone who spins, is able to play characters that are supposed to be locked, it could be a glitch though. I don't even want to say that that's intentional. It could be a glitch. But if that is intentional, is that like, okay, with that one, if that is intentional, I actually see why they don't want to say anything about that, because that's wild. But like a lot of what they changed, we literally have to find out. Inspector Gadget, Detective Conan, we are literally finding out stuff as we play the game. It is not said when it's changed. All the players need to know. Yeah, this isn't the first time. We've definitely had a lot of changes within the past. Like I said, I've been playing since day one. A lot of changes where they just don't tell you. We just figure it out. It's like, y'all changed that? What happened there? They used to be like that. Oh, why is that changed? Steven says, hard question. A company isn't always that transparent. I agree. But like, I know Power World, whenever they change anything, they said everything. And I think there's another game. I know competitive games do it every time. For reasons. It's a competitive game. You literally need to make sure that every player is on the same page. But Disney Speedstorm is not really a competitive game. So can they get away? Is that something that's what makes it okay? Some other games share every single detail, no matter how small it is. So yes. Yeah, like I said, Power World does it. Foam Stars does it. Gears of War did it, but Gears of War is a competitive game, and so is Foam Stars. So FF14 shares every little detail. Palia shares every little detail. As a company, you don't have to tell your customers everything unless it's privacy issues. So now I don't think they have to update us on all the changes. But if it impacts the player, and that player, Jesus, that is such a hard question. Changing how free play works is a big deal that players need to know about. That's true too. Because again, if it impacts how you play the game, like let's just say they made a shop change. Well, okay, you find out when you get there. But if you're saying we're removing characters, if you say we're changing numbers, if you say like Olaf had his skills switched. And then they was like, oh yeah, by the way. What you mean by the way? Are y'all dead? Like, what? But that happens all the time. They literally do a little change. Sully, his ability got changed. Donald, his ability got changed. Mike, his ability got... These characters are getting touched without anyone even noticing until you play. The game itself is getting touched without anyone noticing till you play. The events are getting touched. Everything gets touched. And the only thing that they share are the stuff that would make it seem like, oh, it's a great thing. But then there's a lot of hidden changes. So that's why I said, look, I don't really have an answer. That's why I was asking y'all. It is hard. It is hard, but I really wanted to know everybody's point of view. Like, should a developer always tell you what is being changed that will affect your gameplay? If it impacts how you play the game, I think that it should be told. I think. If it impacts you as an individual, if it will make you race different, if it will make you move different, if it will make you jump different, if it will make you shoot different, if it will, like anything that impacts you as gaming, what characters you could choose, what class you could choose, I think that would need to be announced. Especially because they do this periodically throughout the season. They just don't have patch notes for it. So I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to keep you guys for too long. This was a great podcast, by the way. I really love talking to all you guys. Really love hearing your what you guys have to say. Like I always say, you know, I don't think I'm always right, and I love knowing that you guys feel the same way. You know, you guys are not afraid to be like, well, this is what I think, because that's how it is. These podcasts are a conversation. I didn't even say it, by the way, but if you guys want to sit in the podcast, become a member. You can sit. You're not only supporting the channel, obviously, but you are getting some extra goodies, such as being able to sit in the chat during the podcast and stuff like that. I don't want anyone to... I'm just going to say this because I seen a comment about it, of like people paying to have to watch. This was never a thing, and this was never intended. I would just record podcasts, but I wanted to do something special for members because I felt like I didn't have anything special. So I said, well, why don't you just sit in while I record it? That's what happened. I'm not like, what can I make paid so that they pay? Literally, I think almost everyone who even supports the channel literally only pays because they support it. I don't think anyone that became a member is like, oh, you're offering that? Okay. So again, it's not like a paywall thing. I just didn't. It's hard, I think, as a content creator to make special things for members sometimes. And so this is what I felt was great. I can hear ideas, we can spread ideas. And then of course you, as someone who might not support financially, you're supporting, you know, while watching and whatnot, you get the video the day after. So it's not even like, you know, it's not that far away from you guys. I used to use Eve to learn how to use Eve so I can earn Eve as I have every mid-season racer before. Is not happy about that. Yeah, for me, I never had her, so I had to literally race. But yeah, anyway, thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for supporting members. Of course, like I always say, I don't know how to say thank you. You guys have been supporting me for the long run. Even when I play other games, you guys are still supporting me, and I really do appreciate every single one of you guys, seriously. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Even if you are watching the premiere, thank you for being here. Watch the other ones if you have not. Until next time, you know what I always say. Thank you guys for doing what? Popping often. Will often. Thank you for all being here.